Hello and welcome to today's Disco Elysium stream. We're back. Let me close that. Just wanted to point out, I don't think I've pointed this out before. So this screen, you might be wondering where it takes place in universe, in the game, like this camera shot. So if you think about the docks that we visited where we spoke to that rich lady, she would be right here, I believe, because then the harbor's in the background there, you can see the crane, and I think the whirling in rags would be behind this. This is like the bookshop or something, I believe. It should resemble that, I believe. So we haven't visited any of this. This whole thing is just, we haven't seen any of that. Anyway, it is currently, it's not actually going to tell me, I believe it's quite late in the day. Which means we're about to finish off our first day of 3. We've done a lot, but we've mostly just picked up tasks. We haven't completed as many as we have to complete. That's definitely a fact. I think we can also do a few things now after dark to complete some objectives. I'm going to turn myself down just a little bit. I see I'm a bit loud. You know, we're behind the whirling in rags. It's 8:18. We have 11 cash. We can talk to Kuno now. Well, I mean, we could always, but maybe we'll get something else.
Show before a kid came by, completely fucked a tree to pieces.
That sounds graphic.
The tree up, fucked it good. It was porno.
Yeah, that's basically what it's on. Stop using the A word. It belongs in the past. There's all retards use language like that. Congratulations, you know, you just made yourself a retard. Oof. Oh yeah, kids, not improvable. Don't you mean dessert? Desert? No. Wish I could have been here just to stop using the K word. It belongs in the past. Us saying that will just make them do it more. And this is hypocritical. Going to be late, have to cook. Well, thank you for telling me from before you're late, I guess. It's a bit strange. Also, hello, Catherine. Not in approval. I don't know what this means. Let's just skip. I found your shack. You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How did you get in? Push the panels aside. A phase shifted through the roofing material. Before you go with that, let's talk about how you said it was just some roofing material. That was a lie. That's the past. You and Kuno are now. Let's talk about how you opened the secret door. A phase shifted through the roofing material. Can't do that. Can't do that, Kuno. He's trying to... can't displace. Can't do that teleport stuff. How did you like it in there, piggo boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool stuff in there. What was with the pighead? I found a plate covered with powder residue. Know anything about it? That's where Kuno gets his deadly hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the lightning in there, pig. But you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old. You could have that sparkle in your eye. What's with the pig head? I think that's my coat. Is it? He squints. You got pretty screwed up. You got pretty benched. Kuno's surprised you've still got your head after all. After all, what? Don't sweat it, drunk pig. And taps his nose twice in conspiracy. Kuno will keep your nasty secrets. Kuno's not snitching. He's saying you climbed up there. You probably saw you do it. That explains the calluses on your hands. You scaled the side of the building, entertaining the local kids. Yep, that conclusively explains how the coat got up there. What's with the tube? It's a vitamin. Don't you know anything? He looks at you like you just pointed at the sun and asked what it was. It's magnesium, right? Yeah, it's the mag. You need that to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips mag like a... wow. And you could use a barrel. Don't teach him, Kuno. He's going to use it against you. Come on, it's just magnesium. Don't mystify it. Looks at you, eyes bulging. You're not getting this, pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your... Don't do mag. You're gonna OD and you're gonna die. You can't Well, I suppose you could OD on any mineral because, you know, if you have excess of anything, that means you... Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, don't shove a rock in your mouth. You might die if you try to eat that. Yeah, but it's not just because it's like, whatever. I'm not dealing with this kid and this other kid. I was with the pig head. Oh, that. He picks a bit of dirt from his fingernail. Wow. Demo tape, like some kind of musician. No. Yeah, forget it, I'm not saying those things. Too brutal for you, huh? Yes, I think I'm going insane, Kuno. Damage morale. Oof. But we'll sleep. We'll sleep it off. He looks in there. Why are you... What the heck is this? Yeah. Let's talk about your shack again. There's nothing else here. Okay. Okay, I'm off. We got nothing new. Yeah, apparently that conversation took nearly 10 minutes out of our lives. It didn't even take that much time in real life, so that was unfortunate. We could do visual calculus here again, I believe, but I don't really think it's necessary. We can quickly cash that check. Then we're probably going to go into the wording in rags and try to stake out the union people according to one of our objectives. And then Kim also needs to debrief us. I believe that'll be it. For the night at least. Then we'll see. This is a very triumphant sounding theme. It runs a little bit contradictory to the game itself, which isn't all that triumphant, at least yet. It's nice though, it's nice music. This is just taking a second to load. Cool. Can I cash this check? Miss...
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Okay. There's another option down there, why can't I reach it? Yeah, let's just do this. Oh wow, I didn't know you worked with the union, sir. She rolls up the giant novelty check, looks like she's seen it before and slips it under the counter. Anything else I can do for you? No, you don't work for the union works for you by supplying you with cash. Can you tell me anything about the dead body? Can you tell me anything about this reality we're in? Sure. Reality, you mean what? Reality, economic reality, or? She's like a student unexpectedly called upon by a teacher. Can she answer the classroom question? Yes, tell me about the... No, I meant the physical reality. Just tell me about the economic reality. I don't really know anything. I mean, I'm 15. What about the physical reality then? I don't know. What about it? Yeah, I won't bother you with the nonsense anymore. Cool, she seems happy to return to her reading. I don't know if it awards us experience when we do something correctly or badly. Can you tell me anything about the dead body? I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so... Let's just say thank you for your help. She's 15. You don't have to interview absolutely everyone. Before it goes to night though, maybe we can do that field autopsy that Kim was talking about. Yeah, that might be a good idea. There's a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of commotion. In the dead of night, take this broken economy and learn to fly. Let's see, where are you? Where's that body? Okay. Let's do that field autopsy as quick as possible. There seems to still be some sunlight, which is kind of strange for 8:30 if you ask me. The hangman, rotting man, lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. Okay. Oh, we can do this one if we put more points into. First, what exactly is a field autopsy? Come on, officer. He pulls on a pair of latex. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano Corpus Mundi is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single Épuis du Sang to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea. Why don't you know? What use are you? You have another pair of gloves? Unfortunately, no. Okay, I'll take it like a man. I've gardening gloves, maybe they are enough. They're better than nothing. The lieutenant looks at the gloves. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you take notes. We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger. That's right, he nods. Open your ledger at the field autopsy. I'm so glad we got that, at least. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11 field info form needs filling out first. It begins with 1. Begin, 1, assistant. Let's jump ahead to the 3-part summary. Assistant, that's you. Write the initials HDB. The corpse is indifferent to your scribbling, it just lies there. The next box says coroner's case number. Okay, KK5708003.0815. KK equals Kim Kutsaragi, 57, precinct 57, followed by his date, 0803, the 8th of March, I'm guessing. Unless it's August. I think it's March. And time of arrival, 8:15 on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you. Okay, that's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials. Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me? Technically, I arrived at the scene before you. Just write it down. Next, name. NA. Next, date of birth. NA. Age. The lieutenant corrects his process. Roughly 50. Wow, that's quite old. Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. I'm gonna write around 42. 6 race. Mondial. Fair to olive skinned from the Isle of Mundi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish. Write it down. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other. Sex? The little monster exclaims energetically. Male. Pig's gonna have sex? No. Wow, why would you do that? Right, male. Nor does he look male with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face. Date of death. You're still going with March 4th, 51. Okay. What else? He looks over your shoulder. Body identified by is non-applicable, and case number is the same as the coroner's case. Listens. KK57050300815 listens motionless. That wasn't it. 0803. Why is that inconsistent? That's a weird thing to be inconsistent about. Let me double check that. Yep, can't see. Oh well. I'm pretty sure that was actually 0803, but oh well. Evidence of treatment. None, at least not after the initial examination. What exactly is treatment anyway? Interfering with the body's positional wounds post-mortem. How did you not know that? Aren't you a cop? You're leaving a weak impression here. Say something sure-handed. I agree. Lividity pointed to a lynching. I'm not so sure. What were we talking when we inspected the body like last week? Let me try to remember. Maybe I should have been taking notes. That's yeah. Maybe next time I'll remember. Swelling. And yeah, okay, I think yeah. Lividity pointed to a lynching. Then again, the right lividity is easy to produce if you know what you're doing. He places his hand on the dead man's chest as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gestures, the stations of the breath. Let me try this word. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature. Is that the same as eclectic? I know that word. Ecclesiastic. There we go. A holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes them 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small woodshed behind Rosencrantz Row. Rosencrantz is a character from Shakespeare. Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside. Light drizzle. There's darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette ball-like against the window. Outside Grand Curran. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Torson. Hand extended, he approaches to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath. We should start the post-mortem. Turn the page. The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why. External examination summary. Clothes, he begins. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Aberdeen, I think. Let's see. He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label. See, it's happening. Aberdeen, yes. Inexpensive, size M, color white. The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid. Write it down. The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They're fused to skin from blood flowing downward. Post-mortem removal of the boots is left for processing. Write it down. Tattoos, he stands up, feet planted on either side of the body. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. Think it's blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case file as document A1. The photograph is taken on the scene using a Triget Mini. Write it down. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck tied with the hangman's knot, color yellow, length 3 meters. There's a buckle on the other end. Write it down. He produces a measuring tape. Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters, generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good, ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. He kneels in to get a better look. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Touch the corpse's hair before moving on. Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness. Why would he touch his hair? Yeah, okay. Lividity is consistent with the hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity. Low velocity? The kid explodes. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was max! There you go. The lieutenant pays no heed. In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. No, we're not amending for high velocity. Right, done. Ligature mark. The lieutenant produces a small folding knife, with the other hand pulling on the belt. He starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut. The steel wiring, he concedes, breathless. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark. You got the right tool for that. Chain cutters. Oh yeah, I'm prepared. Good thing we got these chain cutters. Pull out the rubber gripped cutters. Always good to think ahead. Now, he points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck. You need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below, carefully with as much precision as you can. See my... oh, gross. No, it ain't. See, looks blasé. Your pig's a boring sod. Yes, I'm Kuno's pig. I agree. I'm not your pig, Kuno. Look for a good spot to cut. The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast. Ooh, this could be bad. Yes, I'm Kuno's pig. I agree. This sounds sarcastic. I like it. You are, he says with calm certainty. This pig is Kuno's. This is the only agreement with Kuno. Ah, that gave us a little boost. It's nice. I can't attach the cutters, can I? Oh well. I think that might have helped. Okay, come on, please. Damn it. You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then rotate some more. Yeah. The lieutenant looks by, somewhat worried as he summoned power words to your aid. Enough, cut some. Ooh, what the heck? Told you my pig was hardcore. Steps in and takes the chain cutters from me. I should have a go before. I think I have a strategy. Let him work. He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cut with his elbow to his knee for precision. Snap, the knot is slashed, another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it. Here, he hands you the chain cutters back and then kneels closer to the body, running his finger along the dark red groove until he comes to a gap. The rope rises to a point, he says, leaving a gap in the ligature. The suspension point is in the back of the neck on the nape. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with the drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Write it down. Chest is intact. He presses down on it. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia pulls down the man's underpants. Now it's gonna happen. See, I knew it. This is clearly what they've been waiting for ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant's trying to make it as boring as possible. Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. No, we don't need to. Write it down and move on. Back is symmetrical and intact. He struggles to turn the corpse on his side. Upper and lower extremities are intact but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades. Dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty. The scarring is extensive, way more than a law official's. He nods. We have a real museum here of battles, wars. Last item, hands. He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Up the hand. Let the lieutenant work alone. Hands are clean. He inspects the wrist. No sign of a recent struggle. Were we expecting any? I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Write it down. Oh, he turns to the side to breathe. It's not enough. He buries his face in the sleeve of his jacket. You hear a muffled voice. That's all. And apparently my remote disconnected. That's annoying. Why is my... Why did my Wi-Fi turn off? That's not cool. On my phone. Random. You hear a muffled voice. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Let's do internal examination. Central nervous system, he says, then concludes abruptly. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system? Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to the story. If I may add this moral... if I may add the moral of this story... What? I'll say it. What would that be? He looks at you inquisitively. The dead man looks too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of this story. The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply. Yeah, I suppose that's true. The lieutenant grins. I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Alright, NA. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. He gets close to the... At least he grinned. That's new. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. He gets close to the mouth holes. Eyes squinting from the stench. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see. With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it gently. A rotting smell erupts from his mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh like the creaking of an old house at night. Yeah, ew. The hyoid bone is fractured, he says after a while. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact and remarkable. Write it down. Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. Respiratory system, he stops to exert more force. Both hands are used. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in mucus of the lips and mouth. Look inside the dead man's mouth. I guess. Let's do that. You have a high perception. Maybe there's something. No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there, sickly, sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. Look deeper inside. Oh, damaged health. Oops. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction in your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow just to keep looking. Inside, you see darkness, just a mess of meat and darkness. Mute silence as always. The lieutenant lets go. The mouth snaps shut. Hemorrhaging present in mucus. He repeats impatiently. Write it down. He wipes his brow. Bitter biliary. Not applicable. Why don't we have anything? I don't know what that is. He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. Are you a hepton? I don't think so. Neither am I. Right, NA. Same for toxicology and serology. Right, NA. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands. Alright, let me just... Actually, it's close to the end, so I say, but... Close to the end of the day. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging right down. Gastrointestinal. He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around. To the ground, the pool of feces there. This will do. Then he touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly and says, digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. Write down, omit the voila. Keep the voila. What's next on the list? Description of injuries. Let's just, finish this whole thing. Let's see, he tells his head we have bite marks, contusions on head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. What about the injuries we have afflicted? We have afflicted. Oh, he looks incredulous. So we inflicted them. This is a team effort. Okay, I have inflicted. Okay, so there's an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. This pause, I wouldn't mention it. Better not to muddy the waters. I agree, the waters are muddy enough. They're corrupt, wow. Now, injuries, bite marks. He nods. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. In your opinion, officer, beneath the description there are 2 boxes waiting to be ticked. Opinion, fatal injury, non-fatal post-mortem. And non-fatal post-mortem. Yeah. Agreed. Next injury, contusions. So the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the room of an early inflammatory response. A perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem. At maximum velocity. Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity. Write it down. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath the description of injury, 2 boxes. Well, it's non-fatal, it's definitely post-mortem. Right, next, ligature mark. Finish the autopsy. What's the 4th injury field for? Nothing, just in case. Okay. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck. Write it down. Below the note, 2 customary boxes await to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, awaiting your judgment. The ring is around his neck. The ring is around his neck is visible. I think that's an extra is. That is definitely a fatal injury. That's it. He cracks an uneasy smile. We have established cause of death. It's not much and it leaves much to be questioned, but it's a start. Yay! We got 70 experience. He produces a small black plastic roll, and we didn't level up, from his jacket. A body bag. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. First, how did it go? Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. What else? We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy. What now? Need a copy of that autopsy form, then I'll drive him to Foulborg. Rip out a copy of the autopsy pages. For processing. He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again. He's thinking. Did I miss something? Ooh, legendary perception check. Oh, we can do this one again. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something. Might as well try. It's legendary. I don't know. I had one before. Yeah, I didn't think so. At least I got double fours. You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough. Look in his pants again. Look under his fingernails like him already did. Fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. There's dirt under them, that's all. Do you think we missed something? You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you. Yes, there's something we're not seeing. I've got a gut feeling that there's more to this corpse. Okay, well, we're in livor mortis, right? We're in livor mortis here. He's disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination. And we need to do it fast. Well, it's snowing. And doesn't that count for anything? We're just hanging out here for a while. Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body? Hey, a wide smile appears on his face. Wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building? He points toward the commercial area. Why, yes, there was. Now, detective, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge, but I think we should still take a look at it first, make sure it's big enough before we carry him over. He closes his notebook and cracks his neck. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we're looking for in the deceased will become harder to find. Great. I think that went well. Okay. Send victim's body to processing and fridge the body. Check out the fridge. Okay, so we can save that for a bit later. Oh yeah, we can level up. What should we level up? I want to just check our thought cabinet. Which is this. Okay, this is still coming along. Still needs 2 hours and 16 minutes. My goodness gracious me. Our pain threshold is up. That's nice. That doesn't seem right. Anyway. What are we gonna level up? We can level up visual calculus. We failed a few checks on that before. We'll also level up logic. Or Inland Empire. I'm gonna say Inland Empire or visual calculus is the way to go. There've been a lot of checks for both of these things. Shivers is cool, but I mean we don't ever use it. So yeah. Tune into the city. Yeah. Seems cool and all, but I don't think it's really what we need. Inland Empire is good. So is visual calculus. I think I'm gonna go with Inland Empire. There've been a lot of checks for it. Yeah. Yeah. Next one will be visual calculus. We already have a head start on it. That's why I'm like less inclined to go for the logic and other related fields. Okay, so we'll save the investigating the fridge for a little bit because we have other stuff we need to do first. Now that it's night. At least we got the body down on the first day. That's something, right? It is something. You can't lie to me. It only took about half an hour to analyze that body. I think that's pretty realistic. Maybe even a little bit under, but hey. Now I apologize for the long loading screens. I don't know what I can do to improve them. But, oh, maybe I should play the Game Boy version of this game, which fans made. They made a Game Boy version of this game. I've been wanting to check it out. It seems very impressive. I've summoned the money for you. Ooh, no one's here. I wonder if we can investigate this at all. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You should check it out. Touch the door. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to the touch. The stained steel door is flush with its frame on every side. Okay. Still have no clue on how to open that. We'll figure something out, I'm sure. We could do our karaoke. We're probably not going to today. Can get debriefed. Reading time passes time quickly. I don't need to pass time. Don't worry. I have more than enough activities. Let's quickly do a debrief, and then maybe we can try figuring out these union guys. I think we should technically do it in the other order, but I'm just more certain about how to do this one. There's people down there. Oh yeah, obviously that's the floor. Architecture.
Yes?
How do we get debriefed? Let me check my journal again. End of day debrief. Oh, okay. After 10. Okay, so let's do the investigating the union guys first. Oh. My goodness, that was loud. Something was rattling in the door. I wonder if there's any way that we can... I mean, there's sleeping. We could sleep. But I wonder how we're going to investigate these union people. Is that a bird or like a cat or something? It's crazy. Okay, this is a nice hint. I wonder if it's timed as well. If it's like saying... If the game says, push this hint when it's late. Like after 5, for example. We'll push it more frequently. Because we have seen this one before, but yeah. I really think demaking games is really cool. It's something that I might want to get into when I have more experience programming for optimization and low-end hardware. Because I mean, if you can do it for other people's games, then you can do it for your own games. I mean, that's definitely, no one's arguing against that, right? Maybe she saw some people walk in.
Hello again, sweetie.
You seem to be enjoying. How do you not? No. Okay. Yeah. Where's the mess hall for just the union guys?
Can I help you?
Okay. We still have to save up to pay Garte. I think it would be helpful to us after that. Is there any way that we can... Let me just read the journal entry again. Find out who's in the union box. Okay. Never mind. We can't do that either. I guess we'll check out the... I guess we'll check out the fridge then, again. We did unplug it, and that was a bit of a mistake, it seems. We'll have to plug it back in. Don't be afraid to say weird things. People are more forgiving to persons of power, like police officers. Well, that's funny. Is it true? Are people more forgiving to persons of power? Do we even have power? We're an amnesiac. Yes. I almost confused that for insomniac, and was like, yeah, we probably also are. We could forget some old thoughts. I don't think we've had any thoughts that are particularly bad. Maybe if we had internalized that race theory, I would have wanted to get rid of it. That could have been an idea, but that would have wasted quite a few skill points, I imagine. Yeah, I would have wasted one. Unless I needed to open up another slot. But yeah. At the moment, we're internalizing a 4th thought. Incredible, we have 4 thoughts. Who could have imagined? Yeah, we need stronger things for that, I remember. Plug in the giant red cable. Yeah, giant electrical mammal, cool. Let me equip the flashlight. I pressed the wrong thing. And that's the... and my bad. There we go. We can do this very quickly. Okay, so what do you think of this fridge game? It looks big enough for 2 corpses. Certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough too. But the optics on this are awful, you think, so we need to be as silent as we can. Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge. Shall we go and get the body then? I'll take the head and you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage. Okay, let's do this. Clap your hands. The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement and then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork. Okay. Continue. Yeah, we got 30 experience from that. Beautiful, he says, wiping his hand in his handkerchief. Dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done. Really? You think it's good work? I'm not sure I believe you. Of course you don't. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in an ice bear fridge. This does not leave this room. He means it. He doesn't want to be the ice bear cop. Glorious achievement. We did our best with the means at our disposal. Yeah, I'm not proud either, but we did find a fridge. This isn't police work, it's art. We're artists, and this was our vision. I'm trying to get Kim to trust us. We did our best with the means at our disposal. Did we though? He sighs. Okay, maybe we did. At least we stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances. Tell me who you are. We have a much higher chance of doing this one. This is... okay. Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting. Please, 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 please. Yes! Yes! Given how unlucky we are, I would not have been surprised to fail a 72%. What did we roll, actually? Oh, we did well. We did well. Wow, my congestion's coming back. I'm sounding a little bit stuffy. Oh, I'm gone. How do you like it in the fridge? Where have you gone? I can see you're gone, but who are you? What is happening? I can see you're gone, but who are you? I am a joke. Look at me. There's nothing funny about you. There's nothing funny about jokes either. Who were you when you were alive? A mofo and a killer. I have another question. Go ahead, Kobo. What is happening? What do you mean? I'm talking to you. I actually wanted to say that. I'm talking to you. It's the power of your black, frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lip. Imagination. Go ahead, ask me more questions. You love questions. How do you like it in the fridge? I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest art, your genius, a regular Coppelangelo. Like Michelangelo? Where have you gone? Into the wild pale yonder. Where is that? In the past, way out in the... Why do I love questions so much? Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions? Yeah, give me questions. Here you go, you loony. Is my name Rooney? It's not. Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible? Because you have. Hate you. You stink and you're boring. Do I remind you of someone? A child born with Moller's disease. Harlequinism. Grown up miraculously. A deep sea creature, a baby infected with harlequinism. You sure wriggled out of that one, Coppolini. Is my name Rooney? Why would it be Rooney? No, you're not Rooney. Rooney is obviously not who I am. Between you and me, your name is probably Harry. I feel like I've been getting a lot of Harry lately. Might be onto something there. Enough. You come back and look into this face anytime you want. Humor yourself with my Harlequin features. Ask me your little questions. Freshen your memory. Create associations. Remind yourself of your mortality, Copolopo. Okay. We can try this one. I mean, our perception is pretty high. For what it is. I don't know. Let's try. Ooh, and a damaged morale. Where did that one come from? You touch the dead man's body, your skin is cold. You still have no idea where to begin. What skill points into perception to open this white check? Okay, close the door. That's it for now. Let's go prepare for that debrief. Then we'll sleep and heal our morale since it's so low. It's dangerously low. We could die. I think you die if your morale hits 0. That would not surprise me. How's everyone doing? We're 46 minutes into the stream. I haven't asked yet. How rude. I took the day off basically, so I'm feeling pretty good. And I'll do a bit of reading notes later. Let me get rid of this torch. If I had some sort of magnifying glass, I think that would also help me with my perception checks. Did you know that A Study in Scarlet, which was the first Sherlock Holmes novel, is the first instance of a popular detective using a magnifying glass, which we now so strongly associate with detective fiction? I read an article that was like, why wouldn't it be, or something like, it's strange that Edgar Allan Poe, who also started writing detective fiction, didn't use a magnifying glass, even though it lined up with his sense of optics, I guess. His sensitivity to optic imagery. Or imagery to do specifically with the eyes, rather. Optic imagery as a phrase sounds kind of tautological. Is this a plant? Oh, it's a Noseved again. Tickle, I guess. Our physical healing is looking good, but our morale, not so much. And we're running around the stage. A little hopelessly. See a container you can't open? Equip a pry bar. Oh, I did see a container I can't open. I'll do that tomorrow? Well, yeah, tomorrow's stream and also in the tomorrow time. Maybe I can just talk to Kim for a second and try to get our time up.
Yes?
Nothing. Maybe there's something I can inspect in here. Excuse me. This is my room. Why can't I open it? Where am I supposed to sleep? Why is my door locked? I should ask Gart about that. Or Garte. I keep forgetting how to say his name. Did he seriously lock me out? Where can I sleep? if not my room? We'll pay off some of what we owe now. I think that's an idea. I am in need of money, so I'll need to start looking for bottles. I've seen a lot of them lying around, but I need a plastic bag first. Where do I get a plastic bag? So many questions. And I've not been looking up stuff for this game, by the way. I'm trying to make a point of that, even though it's been really tempting. Saying things like, how do I get the body down? Or how do I find this? You know, there's plenty of things I could ask about. And I'm trying very hard to resist that urge. And just progress as much as I can. What's up here? So about the money I owe. Yes. How much do I owe you again? Okay. Let's just talk about something else. Yes. Why can't I get into my room? That's crazy. What's this? Time isn't flowing, which is now I need to find a way to make time flow. Oh, there's money. We're getting close to what we need to pay off. Kind of. In a way. In a way we're approaching it. Let's mention the karaoke. That'll move time along, I guess. By the way, I'm going to sing karaoke here. Absolutely out of the question. Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger, then we sing this place. Yes, your body is ready, sire. I saw another thing. Yes. Okay, goodbye. We progressed it by a minute. That's something. I guess we could talk to her to just pass the time by like 2 minutes.
Hello again, sweetie.
Should we ask this one? You seem to be in a chair. Yes, dear, I'm a paraplegic. Paraplegic is someone with a limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height or a grenade explosion. A grenade. Did you fight in a war? I'm sorry, it was rude of me to mention the wheelchair. Let's move on. Thanks for clearing that up for me. Did you fight in a war? No, dear, I'm not quite that old. Although I was injured in the line of duty. Were you a mountaineer, a tightrope walker? A mountaineer? Nothing so glamorous, dear, though when I was young I dreamt of planting the Revacholian flag on some figurative peak. What did you do then? I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. She runs her hands over the chrome wheels of her... I'm sorry, it was rude of me to mention the wheelchair. Let's move on. Thanks for clearing that up for me. Yeah, no problem. She nods, smiling up at you from behind her glasses. There is no bitterness in her voice. She accepted the curiosity her condition inspires a long time ago. I think we went with the right one there. Okay, I've got to get going now. Of course, dear. So we got a little bit more, oh yes, let's go get debriefed. Oh, this is a new theme.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
I haven't paid the cafeteria manager for the numbers. You should take care of that then, but I don't have the money. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the streets. We'll figure out something. Though he finds the situation frustrating, he is doing his best not to make you feel any worse than you already do. Yeah. We do need somewhere to sleep. And I haven't found a plastic bag, so I can't make money. So about the money I owe. Yes, I was wondering if we could come to some sort of arrangement for tonight. Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me? I will pay you back tomorrow. I'm an honest cop. It's cold out. I'll freeze to death. Kimon's about to say something. Let him. I understand your predicament as a manager. However, I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects your business. Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking, and he stops mid-sentence. He shrinks back a bit under the lieutenant's severe gaze. I mean, no offense, it's really nothing personal. I forgot what voice he had. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. Hold on, I still have my key, you know? This conversation isn't going anywhere, not until you bring me the money. Okay, he turns with... I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here. I really didn't want to resort to this, the man is thinking. But Lieutenant, we're done here. I couldn't trace the money in time. Kim is going to be so disappointed with us. I'll pay him back. We're working our way towards it. I just didn't have a way to earn any money. 'Cause I don't know where a plastic bag is. If I seem frustrated, it's just... It's not, I'm not... mad at the game. I don't actually have my key. I can't get in. So I don't know why that was even an option. I'm not mad at the game. I'm just engaged. I wanna find things. I don't think this game is poorly designed in that you don't know where everything is or it's not clear what you need to do. I think it's really just open-ended, like an actual RPG, a tabletop RPG, where you kind of have to pick everything that you have to do. So yeah, some people would say that's a flaw in that you're granting the player too much agency. But I don't think it's... I think it's acceptable. I think it's reasonable, yes. How do I talk to you? How can I talk to you? I need to be debriefed. It said come to the balcony. It said go to the balcony after 10. It is after 10. Okay, I guess we have to go to the cop car first. The something kinema. Kinema. Tall and tan and young and lovely. The cop car kinema goes driving. That was a terrible joke. But when it passes, each perp it passes goes, ah! Yeah, I guess we'll try to resolve this money issue and then we can see if it's possible to get debriefed. Or if we just have to call it a day there. Yeah. Not a lot of messages in chat. I mean, feel free to speak. If you'd like to. Gives me a little rush of dopamine. Reading, I mean, not being spoken to. I've been doing plenty of reading in this game, don't worry. This is more than novel length writing, I think, with the amount of reading I've done. And assuming that there's at least double what we've already experienced to come. You know, 1 day, 2 more days. Definitely a lot of effort went into writing the world and the story for this game, the dialogue. It's all very impressive. A little bit confusing at times, but impressive nonetheless. You're still here? That's not good. Okay, here we are. I'm sorry that I'm using your money. Inside you see a set of steering levers or radio blah 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 blah. I would not like to. You would not like to type it in the chat. That's unfortunate. But I tricked you. I have something here we could sell. Look in the back in the suspect transport enclosure. Transport enclosure? Regular please just call it the cage. Look in the transport yeah. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. Their silver edges sparkle in the dark. I confiscated these for a little while back. We could take them to the pawn shop. One of these. Sorry, I can't take them. It wouldn't be right. Alright, let's not take them now. Then come back once we realize we have to. Have this conversation again and then take them. Sounds likely. Okay. Okay, thanks. I appreciate your help. Okay. We have to pawn them off, it seems. What are they? These. Okay. Okay for damages, okay. We could ask our station for additional funds. I forgot to do that. South of the plaza. Where is this pawn shop? I don't remember. Actually, do you know what? Can we... Let's cap it off there for the day. Oh, there's something here. An ancient fountain. It doesn't pump water anymore. There's a tree in it. Have we not been this way? I'm sure we have. Have we not? Oh my goodness, is there a whole section that we haven't explored? I guess there is. I guess that'll be tomorrow's. Not tomorrow's. Because it's Thursday, which means Pokemon. My bad, I got the schedule confused. Thank you for watching. I think we're going to end it there. I'm going to save the game. We got some good checks, we got some bad checks. We're in a bit of a predicament with our money. Maybe I'll try to figure something out with that. Let's zoom out. Oh, nice. So yeah, hopefully you tune in again. We'll be playing this on Sunday. Tomorrow will be Pokemon. The next day will be Pokemon. Saturday will be Dicey Dungeons. That's the plan for the week. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed. If you're not following, please do. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, have a great day. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.